Where did we come from? This is the question we will begin our episode today. Many scientists have tried to answer this question. There is a lot of evidence that the human race did not evolve on the planet. You know that if we are exposed to the sun for a long time, we get burned in the skin, and this is because the conditions on the planet have changed very dramatically in the last few thousand years, as it should. You have to wear sunglasses outdoors, which also indicates that our eyes have not been properly adapted to Earth's climatic conditions. Some recent studies in sports medicine have shown us that the human body produces two types of fat. Interestingly, studies show that if the temperature drops to around 67 degrees Fahrenheit, the body makes good fats and not bad fats. On Mars in the summer, the temperature is about 67 degrees Fahrenheit. This is Mars today, with very little atmosphere. The average temperature on the surface may be about 67 degrees. Another factor is that when astronauts go into space, their body clocks change from 24 hours a day to 24.9 hours a day, which is the rotational period of 1 day on Mars, given the fact that body clocks are set by the Martian cycle, not according to the Earth's cycle. This indicates that we did indeed come from Mars. While the idea that humans may have originated on the barren, lifeless surface of Mars may seem a little strange, scientists are now certain that in the distant past, the red planet was once blue and filled with a much purer and stronger atmosphere. And one of the most amazing things that was discovered by the orbiting spacecraft rovers on Mars, really amazing surprises appeared, the first of which is that Mars, at some time in the past, was very much like Earth, and it had a large amount of water. In fact, billions of years ago, when life first began here, Earth was more of a barren place than Mars, and Mars had a thick atmosphere to protect and cover it, and it would have contained organic molecules as the building blocks of all life, making Mars has its own characteristics. If the human race was genetically engineered by aliens, as ancient astronomers suggest, could it have been designed for the environmental conditions of its native land on Mars? And if so, what caused our ancient ancestors to come to Earth so many years ago? At some point billions of years ago, Mars suffered some kind of environmental catastrophe as its atmosphere began to bleed away into outer space because it didn't have a magnetic field to help protect the planet. Some have suggested that at some point, Mars had an atmosphere, and because of some cataclysmic event on Mars, Mars had to find a new home within our solar system all the way to Earth. So what if we were still on Mars? In 1976, an author and researcher, Zecharia Sitchin, suggested that the 12 planets, once existing in our solar system outside Mars, had been destroyed in some way. Although his statement was based on a study of ancient Sumerian texts, it was largely dismissed by the academic community, who thought the idea absurd, but recent physical evidence has emerged that may prove that Sitchin is more correct than he thought. On October 7, 2008, an 80-ton asteroid enters Earth's atmosphere and explodes 23 miles above the Nubian Desert in Sudan. On that day, an estimated 600 meteorites doused the Nubian Desert, but upon examination, the meteorites were found to contain something incredible. It's a diamond, as scientists believe it came from a lost planet in our solar system, which was destroyed thousands of years ago. Some have suggested that these are the remnants of a planet that exploded at some point, and that the inhabitants of that planet either went to Mars or came to Earth. I am convinced that the reason for this great fascination with space travel is the question that scientists revolve around: where did we come from?